Most people are great at spending money, but keeping it, nope. Learning how to preserve your money and preserve your wealth is how you create generational wealth. It's how you create wealth that lasts through your lifetime and maybe even your kids' lifetime, as long as you do it right. So, how you first need to learn how to make money. As as this channel is for entrepreneurs, I'm just going to talk about three different things. If you're also just someone who wants to take the regular 9 to 5 career path, that's awesome. But hopefully some of these align with you as well. First thing you want to learn is just how to sell. How do you sell maybe a product, a service, maybe even yourself? How do you build your personal brand on social media, etc.? These are just, I'm going to talk about three essential skills that you can push towards making money, whether it's through entrepreneurship or through a career path. One of the most valuable things is just learning how to network. How do you meet people who are where you want to be? For me, I meet a lot of great people at my gym, people who have made a lot of money, who are making a lot of money, who are incredibly successful. This is because I go to a private gym where much wealthier people than your average commercial gym will have. And they all care about self-development, personal development. They're all constantly pushing towards creating bodies that can push past their normal limits, and maybe they're pushing towards strength goals or just general health goals. And they're all pushing towards goals of some sort. And this is why there's this community of people who are successful in any area. Next up, this one's good for you entrepreneurs watching this video or people who are pursuing career paths. If you're someone in the computer science world or maybe the mathematics world, problem solving, but as an entrepreneur, you want to solve a certain problem that is a pain point for a certain group of people. Maybe it's a pain point for yourself, which guarantees that it's a pain point for someone else. Solve a certain problem, and then make it easy for the group of people you're targeting to solve it, whether it's through software or it's through a service you provide them, or even a product. Maybe it's a really good vacuum for people who hate vacuum. It plays music as they're vacuuming. Next up, once you've made your money, once you're maybe making $100,000 a year, $2 million a year as a successful entrepreneur, you need to know how do you preserve that? How do you make sure you're not getting into debt? How do you make sure you're not becoming that guy who makes his millions and then loses it the next year, that lottery winner who's won the jackpot of $60 million and ends up going broke? And the most obvious thing that is not very obvious for a lot of us is just you need to spend less than you make. If you spend more than you make, it's going to become a rabbit hole. It's going to compound against you. You're going to eventually go broke. You're going to reach that $0 mark in your bank account or in your investments, or your credit card bill is going to do the opposite and go through the roof. It's going to skyrocket. Obviously, you need to learn the basics of financial literacy. You need to learn how to budget your funds, your income coming in, whether it's, I know I like to use a spreadsheet on, I like to use Google Sheets, or you can use Excel, very similar. I think Excel is just a little bit more powerful, but for basic things like budgeting, I use Google Sheets, just tracking what's coming in, maybe my investments, and then tracking what my certain budget is for certain types of spend on a bi-weekly basis, on a weekly basis, or on a monthly basis. And then once you've gotten all that down, learn how to invest. Whether if you're a truly incredible, successful entrepreneur, maybe online or in whatever path you're pursuing, you need to learn how to invest, whether it's in the stock market, in crypto, in real estate, in companies. Even if you're wanting to go the VC route and gain equity in companies, you want to learn how to analyze them, how to figure out what are good investments, what are bad investments. Should you invest in blue chip stocks, which are just larger stocks with a higher market cap, or maybe you want to go a different route, maybe buy an investment property or a rental. And this is ultimately the path to preserving your wealth. If you've made $1 million last year, you've never made really any money before, you don't know what to do, remember, spend less than you make, budget, make sure that you have a certain budget towards on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, monthly basis, and then learn how to invest that money so it can compound and return for you. So let's dive into, I went into just a basic investment calculator online just for some examples, because most people, when they're first making their money and they don't know about investing, they don't know the power of compound interest. Most people talk of it as if it's the eighth wonder of the world. It's something that is an incredibly powerful tool that's not talked about enough. In our education system, we're not taught how to invest. We're not taught how to preserve our wealth and how to make it larger and larger on the back end. So 3 examples. One where 21-year-old who wants to retire in the next 20 years. They've never invested before. And I didn't give a salary example. Maybe let's say they're making a good salary. Now, maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're making your first $80,000 a year. Let's say they want to retire in 20 years with $2 million. They will need to contribute $3,505 monthly for the next 20 years and have a compound rate of around 8% annually, which is, if you invest in like index ETFs, that's pretty much average. I know this past year, MoneyInvest probably did incredibly well. And if they do that 8% annually, $3,505 monthly, contributed towards those accounts, they'll be at $2 million in that next 20 years. Second example, maybe someone who's a bit older, they're 35 years old, they're making a good salary, they're making, let's say, $200,000 a year. They're an engineer, software engineer, someone who's making a good salary. They just moved to a senior position. They want to retire. They want to really retire as fast as possible, and they want to be really aggressive. They want to invest half their salary, which is around $8,000 a month. What they can do if they want to retire at $2 million, like the 20-year-old we just looked at, they can retire if they invest half their salary in the next 13 years at around 8% interest every year annually. And one of the craziest examples, just to show the power of investing in yourself, investing in the stock market, investing in really anywhere, the power of compound interest over time this is an example based on my cousin, who is young, lots of investments, or is a very smart investor, very good at managing his money. Say somebody who's 21 years old, they're making $100,000 a year, and they have maybe $100,000 in investments. If they manage to have a 14% return every year for the next 59 years, they will become a billionaire. And this just shows how powerful compound interest is over time. The longer you are invested in company, invested in stock market, crypto, really anything that has that power of compound interest, it can grow and grow and grow into amounts that are insurmountable, amounts that really seem impossible for the average person. This video is a little bit different than our normal videos on the channel here, but hopefully giving you some value. Remember, learn how to make money, then learn how to preserve it, invest that money, and you'll become wealthy. I'll see you later.